It's called Rape. The E is silent. Fingers like daggers, ripping, tearing the dimpled skin. Rubber hose impaling the red flesh of desire. More like a thick tire. Avoid making any noise. Or the monster may interpret it as joy, ecstasy. Lame, limp resignation in a world of takers.
Thank you, Dolores. And thank you for being brave and coming up here and sharing for the first time. That's awesome. Way to go. Now you've done it. And also for sharing that powerful work. All right, everybody, give it up for When the River Speaks alum, Momo Y.
I have a poem on page 2 called Storm Over South Lake Tahoe, and it's pretty much about a trip I had earlier this year. Yeah, nothing. Heaven, the asking flow divines you at every hour. My light, my home, I was simply passing through. I was a storm over the Sierra Nevada in the throes of a year, aching to start anew. And the thundering stopped and the waters retreated. The winds took me from the Emerald Bay. From heights uncharted, I see you in the light of day. No more shadows, twisting knots of patchwork delusions and malformed connections. You are unmistakably intentional. I am simply a passing storm.
Can I get a picture of you guys?
I don't know.
Everybody, like, do
We might need to
something
put the
fun
light.
with your hand.
We might have the lights.
Look active and excited.
Should we put the light up?
I think it's good. It's good like this. It's reality. Okay. Thanks, y'all. You know, it's not real unless it goes on Instagram.
I just don't get it in this part of thing that's my daughter, so it's teaching with like lesbian.
Okay. All right, everybody. Attention, please. As we welcome to the microphone, San Marcos Poetry Night OG. I met Tom like 10 years ago or something. Yeah, it's been a minute. Welcome, Tom, to the mic.
Water sent me. Water wanted us to know that water is one, but we're all divided, okay? Water sent me from Glastonbury Well, where there are two forms of water coming from one source. There's the copper well inside the chalice well. I drank from the free tap and the weary wall, and there was a poet there selling his wares. I said, "Why are you selling poetry?" He said to me, "I have to eat." So I gave him the books. I said, "Sell them and eat." Across the road there are the White Springs. The White Springs are closed on Monday for cleaning. But when I was in there was an altar dedicated to Hearn, the hunter, the deer. And it had flowers, it had apples, it had a picture of Hearn, and candles burning all night long. They want us to know the water flows and wants to be wild and wants to be with us tonight. But the H2O of the wild waters is equal to the H3O in silence. The only equivalent is, of course, in fruit, natural and organic. Don't touch those Monsanto fertilizers, they kill everything they touch. And your future children too. You do not need much water to know that we are made of it, and it flows. You have your springs here. I come from Jacob's Well in the hill country, which is choked. We used to swim in the well under the full moon and do poetry inside Jacob's Well, which was run by a poet, an artist called David Baker. It still is. But it became too much for him because because Jacob's Well is the source of waters for Cypress Creek, a whole village, and now the water stopped for the third time in its history. Mind you, the Chalice Well has run for 800 years without stopping, no matter, even if England was in drought. The white waters of the spring, the copper waters on one side and calcium on the other, happen to be two forms of water from one source, the River Brue, where allegedly Arthur threw his sword, the Lady of the Lake. Of course, everything is mythology, but water has its own history. And you're so close, and water makes San Marcos what it is, and was once when we had Barton Springs and you fly high in the sky until development came, as development's coming here, destroying all that's natural, destroying all that's close and near. And green turns to grey, and dust chokes us today, and we say, where is water when we need it most? Where is the rain? Well, the rain is waiting for us to throw away oil and gas, get rid of all the plastics, and relate to each other as water does. For water is love, and you are water. Flow.
I told you were about to get a sermon. Tom always brings it. Thank you, Tom. That was beautiful. Also heartbreaking. I read the story about Jacob's Well being closed indefinitely, and it's pretty bad. So thanks for speaking to that, and giving a voice to the springs. All right, next up we have Janessa. Give it up for Janessa.
Hi everyone, thank you. I'm actually from San Antonio, so I just want to say hello. I've never been here before. This is my first time. I'm actually published in this issue, so thank you very much. That was really awesome. So I'll just go ahead and read the one that is on page 12. It's Coming Home. I've always been running from something. Running away from home, running away from people, running away from me. You see, there's a lot of ways you can run away while still staying in the same place. I could pack up all my feelings in a little suitcase and run to the bottom of a bottle, roll myself up in a joint and fade away, tangle myself in someone else's bed sheets while my thoughts lay scattered on their floor. But no one ever tells you how hard it is to come back home. They don't tell you how lonely it is when you do. I come home to an empty room. Memories and fears hang like cobwebs in the corners, past traumas piled like junk mail at the door. Sifting through my suitcase of feelings, staring in a mirror, asking myself, where have you been? There's nowhere left for me to go. Today might be the day that I've stayed.
Thank you so much, Janessa. So glad you could join us all the way from San Antonio. That's awesome. And thank you for that poem. I love that line about the past traumas piled like junk mail.
Thank you very much.
So, I was going to do something, but now I'm not ready.
We could take a short intermission.
I'll get ready. I want to go ahead and welcome Ellen to the stage. Is Ellen here?
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
My poem is called I Am the Jew, and it's on page 18. I am the Jew. I am the Jew. I see before me burning buildings, synagogues, bookstores, and homes. Into the night I run, yelling for them to stop, but they don't listen. I am the Jew. In my nightgown, I gather up a few of my precious books as they laugh. I pay no attention to them, nor to the blazing fires, nor to the blows across my head. I am the Jew. Finally, I feel a book and silently tuck it into my nightgown fold and quietly creep away on all fours. I am the Jew. I see before me burning shuls and synagogues filled with praying Jews. I can feel the hotness of the angry fire as my Father's hands find mine, and mine finds my friends, and my friends finds. I am the Jew. I see before me Jews who hid behind the cross, Jews who survived all the horrors, only to later die of guilt. I am the Jew. I see before me the Jews of Baba Yah, 33,771, silently walking towards their open graves, trusting in their God. I am the Jew. Mountains of bones, of burnt flesh, of gassed men, women, and children, of empty holes. I am the Jew who shoveled this all into one neat pile, and I am the Nazi who ordered the Jew to shovel all this into one neat pile. I am the Jew, and I am the Nazi that I see standing before me.
Ellen, that was phenomenal. Let's give Ellen another clap. I love this poem. This poem blew me away. It continues to blow me away every time I read it. Wow. And I love hearing you read it too. So thank you for sharing that with us tonight. So in this submission, we were surprised that we had somebody from Ukraine submit a poem. And this journal is really meant for highlighting local voices, but we did want to go ahead and print it, in solidarity with the Ukrainian people. And I heard today on the news, actually, that today is actually the 500th day of that war. So it continues to happen over there. Vladimir Putin continues to be an asshole. And people are still working really hard for their freedom. So let's not forget those people. So this poem is on page 19, the very last page of the book. It is called Two-Faced World by Slava Konoval. Indifference is the perfect modernity. It consumes the taste of criminal acts. It is going into oblivion, and with them the greatness of the truth. Is it so? As black and white colors turn gray today, as good and evil, that is already a separate matter. It flies here and there like a bird. Empty words are almost the norm. Balm warms selfishness. One fighter in the fields has a different form. So yeah, that was Slava's poem. Let's clap for him. Maybe he'll feel it all the way. All right, and next I want to welcome Sean to the stage.
Howdy. My cloud, this one, life could be so simple. Life could be so simple, you could know the ones you love. Every day you awake to understand the gods above. Anytime you please, anywhere you are. Straight from the light, true words to those that live by what they can't write. Do we conceive from trauma? Are we relieved or jealous of another? Anytime you please, anywhere you are. The process, not the result. Words come easy as they're genuinely spoke. What we dare not realize, we just can't fight. Wild in the light, my darling, sleep tight. It all feels all right.
run today, and maybe I should have. Maybe I should have also wiped the crumbs off the table, or swept the floor, or washed my dishes, or put away that pile of laundry in the corner collecting dust like the corners of my mind seem to be. I didn't go on a run today, and maybe I should have. Maybe I should have also woken up earlier, or taken out the trash, or gone to the river, or maybe I should have continued with the so many hours of therapy that helped the so many hours of gaslighting myself that stepping outside will dust away those corners that cloud everything. I didn't go on a run today, and maybe I should have. Maybe I should have also listened to all of these voices telling me what I should do to be successful. Will and won't start to get confused with should and shouldn't, and start to bleed into reality, choking me until boundaries feel like a dream and authenticity becomes a figment of my imagination. I didn't go on a run today, but maybe I should have.
Thanks, Naomi. I relate to that poem super hard. Okay, we have one more person on our list. Please, did everybody get on the list? Did anybody new walk in? Okay. We have one more person on the list. That is Magic Jack.
Yeah! Thank you, Edie. Oh, by the way, this isn't working. It's just a force of habit to go over to. But first, I would like to acknowledge the volunteers at the library who make this happen. As I mentioned before, we became friends right in this room 7 years ago, I believe, approximately. And I was always very impressed with her presentations. She was a lot more shy then than she is now, but she's really grown into her role as a host here, and I'm really proud of her. I'm on page 10. Now this is something that actually really happened. I happened to be down here for an event that was going on, and a friend of mine and I were really thirsty and whatnot. We were near the library, so we went into the library. And guess who was at the library? Hello! So then we leave the library, and there's this little thing going on out front. And there's a woman getting ready to sing, and there's some children and families, and they're pulling us. They're telling us, come on over, sit down, we want you to see the show. And I'm like, okay, we can do that. So it was a fun little kind of unexpected thing. I love that when that happens. It's called Surprising Surprises at the Library. As I left the library that day, unexpectedly, I was at a concert. Chairs were set up in 2 rows for the adults. An elder lady invited me to join. I hear my name. Wait, what? Unexpectedly, I was greeted by a friend. She invited me to sit beside her, while before us, a beautiful Cuban gal was sitting on a stool. We watched and waited. Her songs she's going to sing. While we explained at this happy coincidence, commenting this perfect weather day, we sat in the shade of the library. And then our Cuban gal sang out in her lovely voice. Her Spanish words were lost on me. Joyfully, her voice sang clear and true. While there was no band, only a little boombox did suffice. The children were fixed upon her magic and allure. They were shy, but not very long. Strangers became friends. Friends and families were lifted by the music. The kids jumped. They tried their best dance move, and there was joy there in all their faces. Thank you.
I remember that day, Jack. That was a fun day.
Yeah.
Thank you for reading, and thank you for, supporting our little poetry scene here in San Marcos. Magic Jack's another OG. I met him and Tom about the same time. If you like this kind of thing, if you love poetry, they have one of these the first Thursday of every month. It's a different group that does it, but it's here. They're really warm, fun, interesting people, so it's a good group to hang out with first Thursdays. What else? What else? I'm gonna read my poem.
Yeah.
So I'm Edie Watson. Will you get a picture of me?
Yes, I do. Most definitely.
So I'm Edie Watson. My poem is on the front page, which is a little embarrassing that I didn't put my own poem on the front page. But a little bit about this poem. I went on a silent meditation retreat a couple of months ago up in the mountains in New Mexico. It was amazing. And while we were there, we were supposed to be like meditating on the 4 elements and whatever. And there was a day that the meditation was about the water element. And so I'm out there doing my silent like walking and stuff. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go sit down by the river. And it was early spring, so there was like snow melt, and the rivers were really kind of swollen their banks, and there was a lot of water. And I was like, I'm gonna sit by the river and let the sound of the river fill my ears. I'm gonna just see what the river has to say. So I like hiked and hiked and hiked to find the perfect spot, found the perfect spot, and was about to sit down, and I guess I was upwind of it, but when I looked about 10 feet away to my right was this bloated, rotting, disgusting carcass of a big animal like a horse or a cow or a moose. It was really gross. Like the ribs were exposed and there were flies. And I was like, whoa, this is disgusting. I'm getting out of here. So much for the river. And I went up and sat on a pine tree hill and far away from all of that. But I had been meditating also that day on the words of Bruce Lee, who is like my man. And one of his most famous quotes says, it's the little epigraph at the top there of my poem. Now water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend. So this is the poem that came out of that experience. In flood, I can tear the hooves of a wild horse right out from under it, and have done to those who've crossed me. I filled its nostrils, its mouth and lungs. I dashed it on the stones like a plaything, leaving it to snag in a basket of branches I wove earlier this year from trees I pushed over in a raging torrent. A raging torrent brought you here. The dead horse becomes another basket, its ribs picked bloody by crows, swarming with flies. I am ambivalent. It's you who recoil, you who break your noble silence to utter a sound of disgust. Hear me laughing and snorting and roaring. I mock your silence. You who are mostly water, you are me, and I am you, violent, noisy. Thank you very much. And also, Jack, you said that I had overcome my shyness. I have not totally faking it.
You what?
I'm totally faking it right now.
You're faking it well.
So that's all we have on our list, but we have the room for a while yet. If y'all want to keep going? Yeah, y'all ready to hang out? So, show of hands, who wants to take like a 5-minute break or something to go get a coffee? No? Okay, y'all ready to keep going? So, how about this? How about we say we're done with that, and whoever wants to read can just come up here and read, and we'll do it real democratic-like.
I'll read again.
Yeah.
trying to find it, I'm sorry. Well, I'm like, maybe I can't find it. Okay. So this isn't a poem, but it's like a dialogue. I wrote it as a dialogue. On March 30th of 2022. Just an experience I had of letting go of what I called a pain baby. I didn't know what else to call it, but this thing that I had poured everything into, which was my pain, and didn't want to let it go because I nurtured it for so long. So this happened, interestingly enough, on a car ride, and I wrote it down because it just came to me. So it's between me and God, and it says, this is God. Dolores, do you want to get well? Me. I'm too scared to get well. I've always been sick, and I don't know who or what I'll be without my sickness. God, do you trust me? Me. I don't trust you because I'm afraid to let this version of me die. Who or what will replace her? God. Does Dolores from 31 years ago deserve a chance to live? Me. Yes, she deserves it, but I don't want to let her. I need this pain. God. Will you give me your pain? I can take it. Me. I'm really fucking scared to let it go, but I'm placing her, my child, born from pain, into your hands. Please don't let her die. She's all I've had for so long. God, I will take care of her. She is mine. Me. All fear is gone. I feel empty without her. God, let me fill the empty space. Give yourself to me. Me. I'm so tired, I'll lay down at your feet, and the rest is yours to do.
I have what I would like to do right now because it's an ode to this place and even this room. There's a special place, not fancy, because what happens within, 'tis where poets come to share, on squeaky old chairs. Each find a seat, making time for this unique meet. Inspired by a river and mermaids, where folks float down the river on a wind. And train tracks crisscross the streets, a college town of constant treats, a cafe for coffee and snacks and such. Strangely named, but somehow apropos. It's the place to go. Or maybe shall I say, the place to come. I'm so proud of you all that you caught on to my song so quickly. And I would love to sing it at the end again, if you wouldn't mind doing it, because I'm running the video, and I would love to hear all those people sing. And I'm going to give you a copy of that. Thank you very much for your attention.
When I first started writing poetry, my poems were short, and now they're getting longer and longer. This was, I started writing it June 15th, 2020, and I rewrote it July 4th, 2023. My voice, your voice, our voices. My voice, your voice, our voices. Violence and hate have got to go. No more killing of young black women and men. No more ignoring the rights of Native Americans. A path to citizenship for our undocumented people. Protect our LGBTQ plus community. End poverty. Abortion is our right. Keep your hands off our bodies. My voice, your voice, our voices. Tear those Confederate statues and monuments down. Slavery is in our past, but racism is still around. Like dirt swept under our rugs. Time to shake it out into the open so that it stops. It no longer belongs in our hearts and our country. Time to move on. No more Toulouse or Greenwood massacres, 1921. 24 hours of angry white mob rule. 300 black residents brutally murdered. My family, my friends, my way of life destroyed. My children, my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren, generations of black folk affected, black homes and businesses to ashes, leaving nothing for the grieving to take away, a thriving black community destroyed called Wall Street, an Italian town of 10,000 people were erased, leaving only grief and fear, and a message from the whites. We are watching you. We want you to stay poor and ignorant. 2020, us black folk are fighting back. We're not listening to others, only to ourselves. We are finding our voice and our strength. We are demanding that our history be included and known by all Americans. We are demanding a democracy that includes us black and brown folk. My voice, your voice, teachers' voices, demanding a rich school environment for all our students, regardless of what pronoun they respond to. Free of fear and death, where guns and book banning are forbidden. Students at their desks and patient to start their day, knowing that they have the ability to learn, knowing that learning is their God-given right. My voice, your voice, Native American voices. President Andrew Jackson, no more death marches for us, no more trial of traitors, killing us by the thousand, making us walk our death road, leaving us to live on barren lands, our culture ripped away, leaving little but the stories told by our elders, wiping out our history of a proud race who once roamed the United States freely, our children once forced to live in boarding schools that taught them to hate themselves, forcing them to give up their culture and language, a way of being, teaching them that they are inferior and weak. We are demanding a democracy that tells our truth. My voice, your voice, LGBTQ+ voices. We are here to stay. We demand laws that protect us. We don't care how you feel towards us. We just want fair treatment in housing, jobs, and health care. We want our children to feel safe going about their day. We don't want them bullied, attacked, or spat upon. We want to be left alone. Our private lives are none of your business, so keep the fuck out. That means you, Supreme Court. My voice, your voice, our voices. We are your factory and restaurant workers. We are the clerks behind the counters. We take care of your children, often neglecting our own. We do the work that you hate. Without us, this country would grind to a halt. We are your working class poor. We are demanding fair wages. One paycheck is no longer enough. We are so tired of all your broken promises, your lies, and your bullshit. This has got to stop now. My voice, your voice, our voices, women screaming loud and clear, demanding to be heard, fighting again and again. Keep your fucking hands off of our bodies. Abortion is our decision, not yours. Tend your own garden. My voice, your voice, our voices. It's time for our country to become a true democracy. We are claiming our power one voter at a time. Our voices blending until only one voice is birthed. Singing our song. We are demanding democracy that includes us all now.
I'll go next. Sorry, I gotta find one here. Okay. The world is falling apart on our tiny blue speck, and the James Webb Telescope showed us just how many worlds there are to crumble. Some are falling, and some are rising, and I wonder how many living beings fell to their knees in defeat. How many beings love each other out there? Did they get to hold someone that made their heart skip a beat? Who woke up and decided that today made perfect sense? How many beings looked in a telescope at the Milky Way and wondered if there was someone else out there? How would they react if they knew it was me? Particles of complex emotion and self-centered views. I'm a speck on a rock who forgot that the woman in the mirror is just a star covered in skin and meat. A telescope showed me that there's so many galaxies swirling around out there, and all I can think about is the darkness in between. This is to say that you can display all the highlights in my life, and I'll still count the gaps like sheep. You can show me all the times someone out there looked at me and felt love, and I'll still wonder if that will ever be enough. There's so many little girls out there who grew up to live a life just like me. So I can only wonder if we're all just the same person staring at the same galaxies.
Also, that was amazing. This one is another one that I submitted two, and then they only chose one, so I'm reading another one that they didn't. This one's called "This Poem Doesn't Have a Name Like Me." Star child, you said, a word you thought so perfectly tied a bow around the essence of who I am. Star child, a word I so desperately hung on to as I watched you change it to unique, you said, a word you thought so perfectly masqueraded for the feelings that were never there. Unique, a word I so desperately hung on to as I watched you change it to stranger, you said, a word you thought so perfectly summed up the definition of who I am. Stranger, a word I so desperately hung on to as I watched you change.
So I also submitted another poem too, and I'm not just going to be the one I submitted. It's called Touch. That coming of age came and went, and I felt no older, no wiser. Praise choruses unsung, verses and sermons unspoken, frustrations leather-bound, clasped in the pious bindings, holy cloth and more like a belt or a broom than anything else, hands grasped for anything else yet. Through the air, windswept love was something I never wanted to feel again against my skin, breaths heavy and heaving, stick tenderly raw, buffeting, please tear, howls combing viciously through my uncut, wild hair. Tears in drought were drops of honeydew sweet yet, muddied and drowned, sweat from above, heights unfathomable, flung, fevered, furious claims of covenant broken skin akin to Abel's love and loveless, rang fully, hollowly the same. I went and flinched at grace and salvation. They have taken my body, my age, and snuffed fires, ruin, and damnation, caress a joyous death, but heaven is inside you yet.
I wrote this a couple of years ago after my son and I went to a trip to Big Bend. And I was really, really in awe of the beauty, that whole, I mean, it's like a whole other country. And then I was kind of like mad at my parents. I'm like, we've been in Texas like forever. Like we never, why did we ever go to Big Bend? You know, we always go to the coast or to Houston or Dallas. Anyway, I'm an ancient woman. I'm an ancient woman. The blood that flows through my veins is like the rain. Each drop a perpetual reincarnation of blood-born, bloodshed. I'm an ancient woman. My bones fossils, eons of history etched in stone, one day to be found long after I draw my last breath. I am an ancient woman. My skin is brown, baked by the sun for centuries. Ravines and valleys, the scars and wrinkles of a life lived, sometimes hard, other times a bit less hard. I'm an ancient woman. My hair is the forest, new growth and old, layers of colors from green to brown, with hints of red as the leaves in fall. I'm an ancient woman. My spring and summer have passed. The autumn descends upon me, and the end is the only part left. But to hate winter, I cannot. I'm an ancient woman, a healer, gazer of stars, starter of fires, conqueror of fears. I am an ancient woman. My heart has beat for thousands of years, many times broken and healed over. My thoughts are the grain sands on the beach, constant, never ending, never fully contained, always lingering long after the trip to the shore is done. I am an ancient woman.
Jack, can we do it?
You need some music?
Oh, always need music. Your music, man. Our salamanders, our mermaids, know the Franklin River in Tasmania, a wild river, but they wanted to dam it. So we, Friends of the Earth, with canoes and kayaks, blockaded that river for freedom. So I come to the ununited States. The only wild river left is the Alligator River in Arkansas, and no dams upon it. We canoe, we kayak, but I see oil globules on the surface, and I say, this is supposed to be a wild river, no dams upon it. How come there are oil slicks upon the surface of this river? My friend says to me, Tom, don't you know? Everyone wants a trace of the wild. These are tourists with suntan lotion, and that suntan lotion makes it no longer wild. Oh, mermaids, oh salamanders, know that you can only live in the wild. There is no home inside a cage for you. Water will flow around and inside of you. And when you come to the rewilding of Zilka Park or Barton Springs or anywhere that flows around us like the East Texas Buffalo mural, which pointed out that all the water sources in Texas, from Comal Springs to Barton Springs to the Capped Springs in San Antonio, are one. We are one.
All right, I'll read one. So we're getting kind of environmental right now, so I'm gonna get on that bandwagon. So I don't know how many of y'all saw the news story this last week that there are wildfires in Washington again this year. And oh, is this our special guest? Stephanie? Yeah. So glad you're here. Welcome.
We got stuck on the river.
Yeah,
That's okay.
It happens. Welcome. Are you ready to read? Do you want a minute to settle in, or do you want to do this?
You want to say
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, everybody, welcome Stephanie. What?
Her name is the deer.
Yeah, but what?
Oh. Page 6. Page 6.
Page 6. Okay, so
Page 6.
one of my favorite things about When the River Speaks is that we publish all ages, all voices, and it is especially fun when we get children's submissions. And we were all blown away by the elegance and beauty of this little poem, and also the profundity, like out of the mouth's babes. So Steffi, I'm gonna. Do you want to hold it, or do you want me to hold it? Oh yeah, she's right.
Does she have the words? Does she want to read it?
You have it?
You want to read it? Here, she can read off of here.
Okay, can you hold it for you? Okay, you have to hold it in Stephanie's mouth.
It doesn't work, so it's okay.
Oh, it's
It
a
doesn't
prop.
work?
It's a prop.
It's a prop.
Perfect. Okay.
So you just have
So
to
you can
say
just
your
say it
poem
loud.
really loud, okay?
Here on TV Red, I watched a child. Is here a deer?
our fake microphone.
Yes.
Sometimes you just need a little prop to fuel the agenda, you know? Are you gonna grace us
Oh, no,
with
I was
song?
just trying to stay out of the way.
Oh, okay. Okay, so, well, I don't think I'll go now. That's the middle language in this one. Is somebody else wanna go?
It is just a show, okay. It helps. I call this one the distance. Some days I watch you sing under your breath. It starts to make sense. Day by day, shouts and whispers in context. There's more to this place. Patience is more than how long it takes. Things are on the break, giving more than you take. The distance never feels so far. We have our whole life to become what we are. In real time, nothing else seems to matter. Faith and beauty, life is a blur, less time to react. Give me all the words you would redact. Before we die, show me all the good that you would give back.
I'll read one more, unless you want to go.
You go.
Okay, but this, I had to make sure it was okay. Like it's fine. Alright, so this is called Afraid to Be. It's from September 8th of 2022. Wrote it on my lunch break.
Ah,
I remember that.
there you go.
Sitting in Taylor Murphy at Texas State. So, afraid to be, absent, present, a success, a failure, honest, a liar, with a loving partner, without a warm body, alone, together, dead inside, partially alive, myself, apart from, separate from, a part of, separate from, all I'm capable of being.
So a while ago was like 2014. Time passes quickly. I started a private group on Facebook for some friends, poet friends and writers, with the idea that that we needed to kind of coalesce together and support each other as a group, as a flock. Words together, flock together, and support one another and encourage one another and hopefully try to write something off. My initial ambition was to try to get people to write something every day, but that fell flat really quickly. People just don't write something every day. But it got me in the habit of writing more because I was trying to encourage other people to write more. And I thought, even if you just write 2 lines, that's 2 lines that you didn't have. So just start out with something, and then just leave it. And sometimes those 2 lines are all that you need for someone else to say, yeah, I'm feeling that. You can do these, or these, or whatever, but you never know what's going to hit. So it's been somewhat of a success, I think. I wanted to keep it under 250 people, so I had to eliminate people that were not active. I warned them, and I said, listen, if you're not posting or commenting, then why are you here? This is to try to get people to do stuff. Anyway, so let me get to the poem. This is new shit, by the way. New shit, 4 days old. Okay, this goes to people who don't want to be bothered with what's called, Oh, don't talk to me, I'm not political. I'm not, it's not my problem. This is called, not my problem, disaffected, you say? I'm busy. I got my own things to think about, besides. What can I do about it? Why don't they do something? They. Who's they? I'm not into politics. All they do is text me. Why can't they just leave me alone? What do they want now? Again, I'm busy. It's not my problem. Suffice it to say, that's not how I really feel. So, are you ready for a song? You want to do the song again with me? Would you sing it with me? Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
great.
let's do it.
Let's do it. Mind if I take it? You be stars. Okay. Get your papers out. Remember your parts, they're really complicated.
I don't have a
Love is a gift, that's what they say. And you go, you do, and then you do, and then also, boom, 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 boom. Okay. Love is a gift, that's what they say. Oh, wow. Once you find it, you be on your way. Whoa, it's not hard to understand. Folks, they do it all across the land. Now love's just like a bouncing ball. It can trip you up, it can make you fall. If you learn to throw and catch, love can be all yours. Yours to fetch, but you got to give it, give it, give it, give it, give it, give it, give it. Give that love away. Till it comes back to you, back to you. Doopy 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 doo. Doopy 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 doo. Doopy 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 doo. But you got to give it, give it, give it, give that love away. Until it comes back. That's right. It comes back to you. And will it come back? What do you think, Tom?
Of course it will.
You think it will? Anybody else? What do you think? If you give that love away, is it just going to fade out someplace, or what's going to happen? You think it'll come back?
It's gonna grow like a tree.
I think I got a positive comment back. My hearing's not as good as it used to be. Well, if love comes to you, pass it along. You'll be singing like some old cowboy song. Reach out, let somebody know they're special to you, and watch them grow. That's all there is I got to say, dear. Take these tips and be on your way. Don't let dark clouds get you down. A little love will put you ease that frown, but you got to give it.
Give it, give it, give it, give it, give it, give it. Give that love away.
Till it comes back.
Back to you. Back to you.
Whisper.
Back to you.
Point to your neighbor. The other neighbor. The one behind you. Everybody. Woohoo! Yay! Thank you very much. You guys catch on really fast. I'm so proud of y'all. All right, well, thank you once again, ED and the staff at the library. I so appreciate these little get-togethers.
you, Magic Jack. That was magical.
Thank you.
Y'all are so fun. So there's another open mic that I have just learned about recently here in town, so I just kind of want to like spread the love. Y'all are into this kind of stuff. This one is going to be at the Lazy Days here in San Marcos.
Yes.
And it is between 6 and, sign up is between 6 and 7 p.m.
Yep.
And it's every Tuesday, beginning June 23rd, or June 13th. So they've been going for a couple of weeks now. But yeah, so every Tuesday, get over there between 6 and 7, sign up, read some poems. Sounds like fun to me.
And they do that every Tuesday?
Every Tuesday, yeah, I'll send you this thing from Instagram so you can.
Yeah, so I can.
Where's the location again?
718 Hopkins Street, East Hopkins.
Lazy day.
Yeah, that.
Oh, okay.
Just, yeah, exactly. It's on Hopkins Street, like kind of close to the highway. So I'm gonna read my poem now.
Yay!
So this is new shit too.
New shit!
So I was starting to tell y'all about this news story about how Washington's on fire again. And I saw this news story that the helicopters and airplanes that get the water to dump on the fires were having a difficult time filling their tanks because the people up there were parasailing because it was July 4th. And they wouldn't stop parasailing so they could put out the fires. And I just thought,
What's wrong with people?
yeah.
They're like no common sense.
Yeah, like I don't, yeah, it just blew my mind. So I write a lot about climate change. It's kind of how I cope with what's going on. So this is a little dark. It's like a dark sort of litany. How then shall you live at the end of the world? The choppers, as they swoop to fill their tanks with water, will get in our own way. How then shall you live at the end of the world? We shall light fireworks in a dry forest. Like the animals, we'll scream and run, displaced. How then shall you live at the end of the world? We shall be preoccupied with rules about clothes and toilets, while the world goes up in flames. How then shall you live at the end of the world? We will tweet about it. We will go inside and shut our doors and not come out. How then shall you live at the end of the world? We'll check our email 16 times an hour. We'll order in, doom scroll, masturbate. How then shall you live at the end of the world? Sometimes we'll silently ask ourselves what ourselves are doing. We'll do yoga and meditate. How then shall you live at the end of the world? We'll find an answer, but then forget it. Because that's what humans do. We'll pray. How then shall you live at the end of the world? We'll hope for help from outer space, like some tiny war-torn nation needing interference. How then shall you live at the end of the world? We'll stop buying single-use plastics and hope it helps. We'll wait for the smoke to clear. How then shall you live at the end of the world? Like the animals, most of us will perish. Those that live must change.
And the oceans. When I was young, they talked about Magellan, Vasco da Gama, and all the explorers like Shackleton who went to the edge of the known world and fell over. Some of them came back, some of them should never have, like the privateers, the Walter Raleigh, and all those people, the pirates. But this is about the oceans within us. Is it not cruel to ask that love should play the fool? Well, place your faith in foolish men, for I have fallen yet again. Are we not wise to scout for our advantage, not wait for weak nor blind, nor take precautions for a rainy day? Slim, solid knife thrust slices between the bone face, cuts between what we say we are and what we really are. To stand 1 to 1, with 2 eyes strong in the sun, becomes one as no other does. It is good to be alone. To walk 2 by 2, not arc bound, but evening is a dream, well
years and millions for end I'll dream serene oceans. Thank you, Jack.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Jack and Tom. Thank you, everybody. Does anybody else want to read? We're coming. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I've never written anything ever. My name is Naomi. My mom is here. That's awkward because this is kind of a love poem. Okay. I will never let myself love you. And I know that I wake up every day eager to hear your voice, and that the beat of my heart quickens with every word that you say to me. I know that I walk down the halls hoping to see you. No, I search for you. Every time, wanting to see your face, yearning to see your smile. Even just a glimpse of you would satisfy. But I won't let myself love you. I wish this was easier, but the sound of your voice is like ecstasy. And I can't help but savor that euphoria I get when our eyes meet. And the utter intoxication of your touch makes this even more painful. But you need to understand, I refuse to let myself love you. I know that sounds harsh, but I won't let it happen. Because it will hurt. It already hurts, and it hurts too much. And I can't take it anymore. Every time, all the time, anytime I see you, I want you. I agree, but you will never be mine. Does that make sense? Can you comprehend what I'm saying? I need you to understand. It feels like a thirst that can never be quenched, an endless state of agony that no medicine can heal, a gut-wrenching hell that can never be escaped. Do you finally understand? Do you get it now? I will never let myself love you, because you can never love me back. Yeah.
Thank you, Naomi. Let's hear it again for another.
So let it be your last.
Amazing
You're back.
job. Yeah, and now you've done it. Now you're an old hack. No problem. So, is there anybody else? We're coming to the end of our time here, so I don't want to cut anybody off if you're like working up your courage. No? Okay. Thank you all so much for coming out. This is always so much fun. We really couldn't do this without your support, and thank you so much for sending us your beautiful poetry, coming out tonight, sharing it with us, lifting your voices. This is what it's all about, right?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
Please continue to send us work and spread the word among your artistically inclined friends. We are always, always, always taking submissions. The email address is on your booklet. Our next issue will be out in the fall, so we will be reading for that if you'd like have some work you'd like to send us. It's fun. And is there anything else I need to say?
In the meantime, you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and we do publish not only the poems that were printed, but all other poems that are submitted to us. We do rotate on Facebook, so please join us for some San Marcos reading.
Yeah, we get so many good submissions and we just don't have room to put them in the journal every time, but we put them out there on social media, so if you follow us, you get stuff that you won't get in the journal, so that's always fun and exciting. Anyway, thank you all so much for being here tonight. Thank you for participating wholeheartedly, and